Hello 3 Mandela and welcome to your second wider curriculum lesson of the week. Today our learning objective is, can I explain how we know about prehistory and use a timeline to chronologically sequence the Stone, Bronze and Iron Age? Even though the prehistoric period is the longest period of time, it's also a period of time that we know the least about. Why do you think that is? Pause your video while you think about that question. So, the reason we know so little about that period of time is because there are no written records, as people didn't write. So things weren't written down, so we don't know very much about what happened in that period of time. So, if there are no written records, how do we know about prehistory? Let me show you something. Here is my bin. We're going to see what is in my bin today. So we're going to see what we can learn by looking at some objects that I have got out of my bin to share with you. Let me show you the first one. Let me put it under the camera. Does anybody know what I've got here? I've got some potato peelings. What can you learn about me from looking at the potato peelings? You can learn that I have eaten some potatoes. So if we look in my bin, we can find out about the different things that I may have eaten. Let's see what else was in my bin. Let me put this one here for you. I have got an empty coffee pocket. So you can see that I have had a cappuccino to drink. So you can learn that Miss Williams likes to drink coffee. Let's see what else I have got to share with you. Sit down on my table. Here I have got some pencil sharpenings. So from this you can learn that I have been busy doing some writing. Let me get my next one. See, here we go. This is an empty container and it's antibacterial hand wash. So from this you can learn that I have been washing my hands. And I've got one more thing to share with you. Can you recognise the logo on this packet? If I turn it over, you might be able to see it a little bit better and turn it around. There we go. This is an Amazon packet that has been delivered to me. So from this that you can see that I have recently had a book delivered to me. This links back to our topic about dinosaurs at the start of year 3. Dinosaurs are a part of prehistory. They couldn't write, but we know they existed because of what they left behind, their bones. We can find out what life was like today because we can write things down. We can look at photographs, we can look at lots of different sources, but we can also look at artifacts that are left behind to help us to learn about what life was like. Archaeologists work like detectives, looking for evidence. They use this evidence to build up a picture of the past. The remains of homes and temples show how people lived and worshipped. Tools and weapons give clues about the way people worked and fought. Bumps and ridges in the landscape show the layout of ancient villages, fields and forts. Some of the best evidence comes from human remains. Skeletons have been found buried with their possessions, and a few bodies have been preserved in bogs. By examining human remains, experts can work out when a person lived. Sometimes they can even suggest what they might look like. The prehistoric period is divided into 3 ages. They are known as the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. The Stone Age. This age lasted for over 2 million years. It's often divided into 3 different periods: the early, middle, and late Stone Age. Britain changed a lot through this time. During the early stages, huge ice sheets covered most of the country. There were once lions, rhinos, bears, and even woolly mammoths living here. Our early Stone Age ancestors moved from place to place, hunting animals. But by the end of the Stone Age, people had settled in villages to farm the land. Early Stone Age. In the early Stone Age, Britain was part of mainland Europe. Early Stone Age people lived in caves or very simple shelters. They made stone tools and survived by hunting and fishing. Middle Stone Age. During the Middle Stone Age, Britain was linked to Europe by a strip of land called Doggerland. People in Britain began to set up camps along the British coast and on riverbanks. Hunters often worked together as a team using spears and bows and arrows. People also tamed wolves so they could work as hunting dogs and guard their camps. Late Stone Age. Britain became an island at the start of the Late Stone Age. During this period, people learned to farm. They cleared large areas of land and settled down to live in small communities. Neolithic people used flint, antler, and bone to make tools and developed the skill of making clay pots. They buried their dead in large tombs known as long barrows, like the one in the picture, and built huge stone circles for outdoor ceremonies. Bronze Age. In the Bronze Age, ancient Britons learned to work with copper, tin, gold, and bronze. Bronze Age people lived in small communities led by a warrior chief. They gathered together for religious ceremonies and built tombs, known as round barrows, for important men and women. The beaker culture also spread to Britain. The beaker way of life involved making pottery and metal, holding feasts and building stone circles. Iron Age. People in Britain learned to make iron around 800 BC. They used it to make tools and weapons. During the Iron Age, farming flourished and the British population grew very fast. However, tribes fought against each other a lot, so many people lived in hill forts to protect themselves. The Iron Age ended in Britain in AD 43 when the Romans arrived. Slowly people stopped living in tribes and began to follow a Roman way of life. Your task today: organise these periods of prehistory in chronological order on the timeline below. The first thing you need to do is draw this timeline out. Then on the next slide will be the dates you need to fill in. Pause your video while you copy the timeline into your book or onto your piece of paper. Now you need to add these on to your timeline. So you've got the Iron Age to add, the Stone Age, then the Bronze Age, And your challenge is, can you add the late Stone Age, the Middle Stone Age and the Early Stone Age to your timeline? Remember to take a picture and to save this so that you can refer back to it in our future lessons.